Electricity and Energy Minister Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa is currently hosting a ministerial engagement with the renewable energy sector at the Gallagher Convention Centre in Midrand. In fact, he's just wrapped up his opening remarks there. Watching those developments is SABC News Reporter Katlego Legodi, who joins us now live from the venue itself. And Katlego, the minister really touching on a wide range of issues as the country tries to get a handle over how we phase in renewable energy, which Dr. Ramokgopa says is the future.
Yeah, most definitely. A very good morning to you, Ayanda, and to our viewers at home. Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa has been hard at work to ensure that there's energy security in terms of tapping into various of these platforms and the sources that will come through for the country. Today, our focus is on renewable energies. These are the independent power producers, and this is where we see various of those role players that are within this space, just under the same room with the ministry and the department, just to thresh a way forward in terms of the future of the energy mix, including renewables in the country. We saw Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa frank around how then the country will stand to benefit from the renewable energy, saying that there's infrastructure in place as we speak right now. There's the National Transmission Company of South Africa under Eskom that has been made to ensure that the grid is available for these renewable energies to tap into. There has been a drive over time, Ayanda, over opening up this bid window. The last one that we had here was an application around a bid window 7, whereby these companies will come through to bid in terms of getting an access to the grid. So we see most of those role players addressing some of those members that are here around the progress. We have the integrated resource plan as well that speaks to an energy mix in the country that would come through, ensuring that also renewable energies and the IPPs form part of that. We're told that there are already investments into this locally and from international role players, and South Africa is looking to ensure that it increases all of these opportunities for those that would want to invest in the country where the energy mix is concerned. I'm going to bring into the conversation now Mr. Magoro, who'll just give us a sense of the work that they've been doing over time. You guys are coming through as the IPP office, and you've been working with the department to ensure that at least there is a movement here. You mentioned some of the challenges that you've been experiencing over time, but you're saying as well that there is an opportunity in renewables in ensuring that there's a security, energy security in the country. Welcome to the SABC. Where are we right now?
Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting us. So right now we have, we've been running a program since 2010, with 14 years. And in those 14 years, we've learned quite a lot. But in terms of the numbers, we have 93 IPPs in the renewable energy space alone that are producing power right now as we're talking. We have contracted 6.3 gigawatts of renewables alone in the last 14 years. And we're looking for more. Between now and 2032, if transmission permits, if we get enough grid, we should be sitting with another 40 or so gigawatt hours.
We saw you just talk about an opportunity or opportunities that lie in renewables, but also you've mentioned the challenges that you've already experienced over time that you'd need us to just shift our focus to in getting this right. Maybe just outline the work that you've been doing over time, and what are some of those challenges that you've experienced over time that would hamper the progress in the work that you're doing?
The number one challenge, as we said, and I think the minister touched on it, the head of transmission spoke about it, is the grid. Our grid was developed to transport power from the north, Mpumalanga area where the coal is, to Cape and the rest of the country. Right now in South Africa, we have high productive areas for renewables in the Eastern Cape, Western Cape and Northern Cape. So now these lines that were designed to send power to the Cape now have to send power back to the load centers. The biggest load center is Gauteng, followed by KZN and the Northwest. So now the biggest challenge is now how do we get the grid to transport this power from the new energy sources to the rest of the country. And that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on firstly optimizing the existing grid, and that's where the head of transmission was talking about other initiatives like curtailment to try and unlock more capacity in the existing grid. But the real solution comes from building more and more capacity. There's a plan to build 14,000 kilometers of lines in the next 10, 12 years. Just to give you an idea, we currently have 32,000 kilometers that we built since 1921 when Eskom was formed. So now we need to build half of that in the next 8 to 10 years. So that's the biggest challenge. There are other challenges, local manufacturing, transformation, permitting and authorizations that needs to come from government. A lot of these are in our hands, but I think the biggest one is to make sure that we can get the resources, money, contracting capacity to build the transmission lines.
Where are these investments coming from? Because we've heard that at least a large share would be from companies here in South Africa. Do we see infrastructure in place? Those companies itching and knocking on your door to say that we have we have infrastructure in place, or we are ready to work with you where renewable energy is concerned. Where are these investments coming from? Where are you looking for more in terms of our future and us going forward as a country?
So I think we showed out of the 272 billion that we attracted, which is already committed, 18% of that was foreign direct investment. A big chunk of that came from locally. We have a lot of, the commercial banks in South Africa are heavily invested in the renewable energy space. The pension funds, the private equity funds. So there is a lot of resources in the country already, but we're looking for even more resources to come from abroad. In terms of contracting capacity, we have built a lot of capacity in South Africa in the last 10 years at the back of the IPP procurement program. The skills for putting this transaction together, the physical construction, transport industry, because these are massive equipment that have to be transported throughout the country. So all the skills is now here, and all we need now is to just get together and start executing and get this capacity that we need online.
Are the policies there? Are they allowing you to really thrive as an industry?
Policies are there. I think there's always a room for improvements on the policies, but the policies are there. I mentioned earlier that through NICOM, there is now an energy one-stop shop, which is now coordinating all government permits and authorizations. So we need to build more of those so that we can get the process even more streamlined to get everyone, doing what they need to do to expedite this process.
Awesome. Mr. Magoro, thank you very much, sir, for giving us your time. He's coming through as the IPP head, just giving us a sense of the work that they've been doing over time. The program is about to resume here, Ayanda, but in the afternoon as well, we'll be seeing various of those role players engaged in panel discussions on frank talks around how then do we capitalize on renewable energy and tap into the future of energy security for the country going forward. Ayanda?
Certainly no overstating the importance of that gathering. Katlego Legodi, thanks very much indeed. Katlego is speaking to us live there from Midrand.